And now to our interview segment. My guest, Bolaji Ayanride, has practiced law for over 20 years. He was conferred with the rank of Senior Advocate in 2005. In this interview, we talk about the role of the Attorney General, lawyers, and judges. Thank you for talking to us. Let's start with the President's cabinet. There are like 12 lawyers in that cabinet, 4 senior advocates of Nigeria. Do you think that these are the change agents that Nigeria needs?
Well, we're all still very hopeful. We're hoping that with the caliber of people that have managed to now come up as the members of the cabinet, we can begin to see some action from the government as it is now. So we are hopeful. We think we have people there. Hopefully, we may see some improvements in the way government has been reacting to issues. Now they have people on ground. Having 4 senior advocates, perhaps it will help very well thought out decisions, particularly when it concerns the rule of law. So I think it's a good development, and I hope we get the benefit of that.
The Attorney General and Minister for Justice is a key member of this cabinet. What have you identified as the challenges of the legal profession, and what do you think he can do to spearhead reforms in those areas?
I think the major challenge of the legal profession, justice delivery in Nigeria now, is the public perception. It's at a very low end, I must admit. And I think it has a very big task in setting out policies that will bring justice closer to the people, make the people understand how the justice system works. And it's something that has to be deliberate. It can't be business as usual. It must fashion out a way to bring the public to have the right perception as to how the judiciary functions, as to how lawyers work, particularly the area I have passion about, that is legal aid. These are areas that it must really work on. I think for him, it should avoid as much as possible politics, and he should have an agenda set for his ministry to bring justice closer to the people.
If we're to talk about specifics, what do you think that agenda should be?
Well, I think that majorly, there should be a deliberate agenda on provision of legal services to the populace. And I'm talking about legal aid. Legal aid, I think, should be something that the Attorney General should take to heart and work on seriously, because this is your means of bringing justice closer to the people. Right now, the perception about how the justice system works is very low, and we need to work on that. People must feel, not only Nigerians, even the international community must feel that the justice system works. And how do you feel that? You must understand how it works. You must be able to associate yourself, understand it. So it has that duty at this moment of our development to work seriously on that. How to get justice closer to the people.
You talked about perception. How did we get to that stage where that perception really wasn't?
Well, it was a gradual thing. You see, we are in a political climate whereby there's great suspicion, and we sort of left it out. We need to explain more to people how things work. And there's a perception of corruption, there's a perception of tardiness, and all these have rolled over into general kind of disillusionment with the legal system, right? So we got there gradually, but it can be reversed. It can be reversed. And these are the real change factors that we should really be talking about. we need to get the people back to understand how the justice system works.
What do you think that the role of lawyers should be, bearing in mind that at the last NBA conference, the theme was about the role of lawyers in governance?
I think lawyers should begin to support system changes. The problem, one of the major problems we have in this country is that we tend to rely more on supermen rather than superstructures. For example, we need to move government away from getting good men only. We need to work on the structures. So lawyers need to help to build the structures that we have now so that anybody coming in fits into that structure. You see, as we are now, we can have 1 million conferences and do a lot of talking. If we do not build the structures, then it will just be like a recurring decibel, and there's no stop to it. So we need to work on the structures. What we have now is that we are always looking for good people. Then we don't have structures. When good people come into bad structures, then they become bad. So right now we need to reform. And reform is not a one-day affair. You know, it's a thing that must go on. There must be committees that work on reform on a daily basis. So we don't just do something, wait for it to turn bad, then begin to talk and talk for years before we try. We must continue. You know, that's my take.
So we've talked about lawyers. What can the judges do differently?
Well, we're hoping that the judges will be a bit more proactive in not only interpreting the laws, but also making strong judicial pronouncements. We've had that in the past. They would deal with the law, then they would make statements which will also help to guide behavior. For example, in jurisdictions like the United Kingdom, you'll find a judge will rule on, say, a criminal case of rape, for example, and after applying the law and sentencing the offender, if found guilty, you will find that the judges will make statements to correct the bad behavior from any other person in the society. You know, so I think you understand what I'm trying to put across. If you deal with a case of corruption, you don't only owe the society a duty to sentence the person if the person is guilty, you also should make a statement to correct the wrongs. Why such a thing was bad for the society, why it should not be condoned. So judges also have that role to play. And I think we have reached that stage that our judges must be, they must be very proactive.
That's our interview and the program for this week, but let's continue the conversation online. Remember that you can find these and past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Shayeli. Thank you for watching.